babes, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brandy. I'm the host of the Be Real Babe show, and today, you guys, it is time for some internet insanity. And you bet your ass I got 3 different stories for you, and I have a theme. I'm doing really good with these themes lately. I'm going to try and stick to a theme. So this theme of this episode is scammers. Now, these are all different kind of scammers. There is a woman in the UK who lied about her cancer diagnosis, and she's coming out and talking about it almost a decade later. We also have a bachelorette who has been arrested and I believe charged with lying about faking some pregnancies, from my understanding. And the last one actually, unfortunately, has a very tragic ending, but it is about a crypto scammer who was frauding a bunch of people who unfortunately is no longer here with us. So if you're interested in listening to those stories, stick around and we'll jump right in. Okay, babes, I don't know which one's worse here, so we're just going to start with one of them, the one that I found the first time, and then the second one I followed up on with Law and Crime this week that I was like, oh, I'm finding a theme here of some scammers. And then the third one I'd heard about a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't sure if I was going to cover it or not because, it is having a tragic ending. However, this is kind of just showing sometimes where, unfortunately, fraud and scam can lead to. So we're going to start with one of the stories that I'd say it's a little bit lighter because it's in the past. It's kind of just court of a public opinion. This hasn't necessarily hurt anybody, but I do think that there is some nuggets that we can take away from this and some cautions for people that like to lie about these things and the damages that it can be done. So let's get to the first story. This was published on November 15th. As I mentioned, guys, as this episode is airing, I actually should be just making my way back to Canada from my week off in Hawaii. And I wanted to pre-record this stuff. So I had some content for you guys while I was gone. And you wouldn't even know that I'm gone if I didn't tell you. So hopefully that's the vibe that you get. Apologies for a bit of quicker, shorter episodes these last couple of weeks. But hey, we're here and these stories need to be talked about regardless. So first story, like I said, coming out of November 15th. I grew up with fake cancer momfluencer. She used a dark trick to deceive us all. A British social media star with millions of followers has admitted to faking her own cancer diagnosis, leaving many of her loyal followers in shock. Now someone who grew up with her in her hometown has spoken out. Again, all that we have to do with this is taking things with a grain of salt. This is just what someone said. I know there's a lot of back and forth in her comment section of kind of being like, hey guys, she apologized. What do you guys want more from her? Blah, 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 blah. There's some people that are saying like this kind of deception is not okay. And I completely agree, especially with all of us who have family members, friends, close friends that are going through cancer. I just don't think that this is something you should joke about. At the same time, I can understand to a degree where sometimes maybe you said something and it kind of took itself and you in the moment didn't want to get caught lying, but then you just make more lies. We talked about this before when we were talking about the fake baby situation a couple weeks ago. You're just messing with people's lives. And I just think that it's great that you apologize. Amazing that you want to move on and grow from it. However, not saying that you should be shunned. I just think that just saying apologize once, I don't know if that's really changed behavior, but I digress. Let's jump into the story. Behind her polished outfit of the day videos, baby-led weaning tips, and supermarket shopping hauls, British momfluencer Brittany Miller was hiding a dark secret that she never wanted to face. And again, you guys can go watch her apology video on TikTok. She has a bunch of followers. You guys can decide for yourself what you think about this. The 29-year-old, a proud wife-to-be and mom of 2 beautiful twin boys, Elijah and Emiliano, has millions of followers who watch her every move online. Over the space of a few short years, she's managed to perfect her lucrative online persona by portraying herself as a down-to-earth, budget fashion lover who shares relatable parenting struggles with her TikTok audience. But the illusion came crashing down this week when a tearful Britney set up her camera and filmed an apology video for faking stage 3 gastric cancer, duping her friends and family into setting up a fundraiser to save money for treatment and support. Now, if you go to her page, she will say that she didn't set up the GoFundMe, someone else did, and that she immediately got them to take it down once she had seen 2 people had pledged to it. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Kind of have to take her at the word. At the same time, it's like this got so out of hand that someone made you a GoFundMe account. So her claiming that she just, said one thing to a friend and it kind of snowballed, I can understand that. But to the point where people are setting up a GoFundMe account, it might be that point where you come out and say this is too far, but I digress. For many of her loyal followers, the scam came out as a gut-wrenching shock, as a few people are fortunate enough to not have been affected by this disease in some way, be it themselves, family, or friends. Valid. It's near impossible to comprehend lying about such a devastating condition, but now Brittany has broken her silence on the shocking scam that came to be. I never wanted to talk about this time in my life because it was very difficult for me, but I owe it to my followers and people who support me to tell you the truth," she said in a tearful video Monday. The influencer then explained that in 2017 she had been suffering from extremely bad mental health and was depressed, suicidal, lost, and confused. The mom revealed she lost her partner and her job and that lots of things had led me to being mentally ill. Brittany added that she deeply regretted telling one friend in confidence that she had an illness, which was cancer, describing it as one stupid sentence that I deeply regret. But how does a viral influencer constantly in the spotlight keep such a devastating secret for nearly a decade? Back in 2017, Brittany was a little known 21-year-old living in Oxfordshire, dreaming of becoming a major social media star. Her small online following was heartbroken when she suddenly revealed that she had been diagnosed with stage 3 gastric cancer. Pause. So this is, I guess, where I'm struggling, girly, with your saying like, oh, I just said one sentence that I deeply regret to someone close in my circle, and your supporters are knowing about it on social media. And I'm not trying to be this way because I know everyone's having struggles with mental health, but I do not believe that it excuses you from lying like this about something so tragic. You should be so privileged to not be affected by cancer because it is affecting more and more people every day. From my understanding, soon it's going to be 1 in every 3 people that are going to be affected by this. And I'm not saying this, I'm really not, but I truly believe in karma. So I'm trying to always be aware of what I'm putting out there. I'm not saying you're going to get cancer, but like, why would you play with that? Like, why would you play with that? And stage 3, like, I just, and also at the same time, I'd like to kind of question a little bit when you say like it was your mental health and you were in a low place. People in low places don't necessarily do this. Like, there's something deeper, I think, than that. I don't think you can just say that you were suicidal and depression, and I might get hated for that. But I feel like, in a sense, that's almost a deflection of what was done. Usually people with mental health conditions, it's something that they have. It's diagnosable. It's not just you were going through a bout. It sounds to me like you're going through a rough time for sure. I don't know if you lost your partner, just losing your partner, or if they're no longer on this earth. And I can only imagine and I can relate to how painful that is. But to turn around to do something like this, maybe again you were in your grief and you're in your depression, your suicide, and you thought that was a good idea. But just warning to everybody, truth is always the right way. Truth is always going to be the right path, and not lying like this. Friends quickly rallied around her and a crowdfunding page was launched to offer financial support. But as swiftly as her cancer announcement was spread, it vanished without explanation. The diagnosis was never mentioned again, and any trace of the story seemed to disappear from the internet. It wasn't until 2020, when Brittany partnered with a breast cancer awareness charity, that her former best friend decided to come forward, revealing that the entire illness had been fabricated. The influencer had seemingly pleaded for cash to help fund treatment for a cancer that didn't exist. So again, she's saying that these claims are fake, that there was only 2 pledges and she didn't do it, and that got shut down right away. So I'll leave that up for you guys to decide, but that's kind of what's out there. She is definitely rebutting all of this and saying that is not true. These claims circulating online for years, but this week is the first time that Brittany has ever addressed the rumors, sensationally admitting to her web of lies. Despite the deception, she's kept a staunchly loyal fan base of 3.5 million followers on TikTok and brand deals with major fast fashion labels like Shein. That's not a flex to me. Wow. Each their own, but 3.5 million, that's a lot. I have 430. Thank you guys. Thank you for my 430 followers on TikTok, and thank you for my 96 subscribers on YouTube. I love you very, very, very much. A source who knew Brittany while growing up in Bachelor also told the Mirror that the influencer had managed to deceive her audience for so long by using a disturbing social media tactic. People from our hometown have known about this for years, but it has taken a long enough time for it to come out because she has since moved away. She also has a filter on her comments, so any words relating to the story never appear, and she actively deletes any that make it through, and blocking the person making the comment. Meanwhile, in a lengthy post exposing Brittany, her ex-pal Beth wrote online, "Brittany was my best friend from the age of 16 through to 21. Brittany lied about some really awful things that I do not feel comfortable writing on social media, but the latest confession was that in November 2017, she was diagnosed with stage 3 gastric cancer. When I found out, I did all the research I could to help her, made her made her a hamper of all the good products and foods that could help her, looked after her, cooked for her, transferred her money to get her radiotherapy appointments, anything she needed. Now, I'm not either of these two women. I don't know who's lying. But I feel like if it took this long to tell the truth, that maybe you've been lying for a while. Just my opinion. Sharing an old selfie with the influencer, she claimed she would fall out with me if I was spending time with my family and not her. She would get nasty if I didn't want to go on a night out with her because I was concerned about her illness. She used to make up scenarios such as, it's the end of my 3-month radiotherapy session. The tumor has shrunk. Please, you have to come with me for a drink. She also set up a GoFundMe page and asked I send it to everyone we used to work with to donate to it. Well, that's conflicting evidence, isn't it? She's saying that someone else set it up, and now this person's saying she set it up. It's hard when you go to he said, she said, right? I'm sure this stuff is verifiable, but not maybe to me, but to somebody. In a bid to set the record straight, Brittany insisted in her video that she didn't do it for malicious intent or to scam people. She continued, I did it to keep the people in my life close to me. I don't condone it. I understand why I did it, and I've learned from my mistakes. This was not a long-running scam. Brittany also claimed it was her friends who set up a fundraising page in her name, but she had it immediately taken down when she saw that there were donations had been made. And I'm so deeply sorry to anyone who I've triggered for saying what I said, she added. This was years before I was on social media. I didn't do it for likes or followers. I know how horrible this disease is, and I'm so, so sorry. I admitted that I did it, and I said sorry to the people that I hurt. Since her teary-eye video, the influencer has posted a new clip giggling with her twins at home in her pajamas. The caption reads, My happy place, with a love heart emoji, with Brittany seen cradling one of her sons in her arms while the others run away from the camera. Hitting out the haters, Brittany responded to one of her fans sharing their support. Ava Lily Rose wrote, Seriously, what do people want? Seriously, what do people commenting hate even get from it? They achieve nothing. And then the cancer scammer mom replied, It makes them feel better about themselves. Bless them. Okay. See, here's the thing about apologies and whatnot and doing things like that. And this is just everyone can follow who they want, right? I don't know this person. I don't follow this person. I don't plan to. Because although you say that you are young and a mental health thing, you're also really not acknowledging fully, I don't think, what you're doing here. Like I know you said sorry in a sense and it was very vague, but it just, what are you doing to maybe something that you could do? Just my suggestion is actually help those with cancer. Maybe you are, this is just one article and I don't know much about you, but maybe it's something that you dive deep into the area that you lied about and help those individuals. I think I struggle with, okay, people lie like this and they get away with it. How do you know that's the only thing she's lying about? That's just not trying to be that way, but that's a big one. That is a huge one. And I am sorry. To me, I'm not saying that you should be canceled or you shouldn't exist in the world, but I also think it's kind of wild to just kind of defend them and say, oh, haters are just hating and that's all that. No, what you did was fucking wrong. And people need to know that that's wrong. And people that are ever thinking about doing that are looking at you and go, well, that didn't really affect her. She still has 3.5 million followers. I mean, there's going to be always haters in the comments. I don't really feel like there was any sort of repercussion for what you did. Yes, some people are pissed at you online. Welcome to the internet. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that you had to move, and it doesn't look good. And I'm not saying you shouldn't exist and you shouldn't have things and you shouldn't have your TikTok page, but I think it's wild that you're like, oh, I don't understand why people are just letting this go. It's been 7 years. It's been a month since you admitted it. So maybe there are people for 7 years was holding on that you had cancer. And I don't know. I don't like to waste prayers on people that don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, it's such a wild thing. Like, if you would have said sorry at the time, then I would maybe believe a little bit more. But it's almost like you've got such a big following now that some people probably aren't going to see this, even know about it. And so what does it matter? But you wanted to be a big social media star. You turned into one. And I'm not saying for this lie by any means, but maybe before then you should have said something if you really cared. But we all grow. 21 is a very stupid age. I understand that. But to the point that it sounds like if this is true, if the allegations are true and you were making your friend do all these things, getting mad at her, like, bro, I had a friend dying of cancer at that age. Maybe that's why I'm not as forgiving. She didn't make it past 25. She literally had stomach cancer that took her, and she did everything she could, all the treatments to try and survive, and she couldn't do it. So maybe that's why some people are so pissed off. This isn't just like, oh, I got herpes and like cancer is a big thing. It hurts a lot of people. So if you have been holding this back for 7 years, I think it's fair to say that you can apologize for 7 years and maybe that will equal out. Just because you post one apology video and move on and don't move in any way that makes it seem like you're actually sorry, I think that's why you're going to struggle to get some people. Some people don't even care. Some people are like, oh, get over it. Okay. But also, why would you want to follow someone that lies about stuff like this? I mean, social media seems to be a big lie, but you can still be real, babe. You know what I'm saying? This fake shit, I'm not for it. It's definitely the end of some sort of cycle, clearing out all the fakes lately. I know a lot of people are feeling that, but there's scam number one. Now, scam number two, I just stumbled upon while I was watching Law and Crime. I was absolutely blown away because it was the body cam footage, and I just love watching body cam footage. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, some people are fucking crazy. And this one is no different. When they went to go arrest her the second time, it was like 7 in the morning, and she was like calling her lawyer. She was like, this can't be right. They can't be coming to my house at 7 a.m. Babe, you're a criminal. They can come to your house whenever they want. You're a criminal. You're a criminal and you were charged. But this next one, women accused of faking pregnancy with Bachelor star faces new charges. So sorry if I did say Bachelor, I got that wrong. It's Bachelor. So this is published on November 7th, but this has been going on for a while. Laura Owens, who is accused of faking a pregnancy to the former The Bachelor star Clayton Erchard, was indicted on additional charges related to a second victim on Tuesday. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office cited a false claim of pregnancy to the man who prosecutors did not name. The Attorney's Office said Owens was indicted on one count of perjury, one count of fraudulent schemes and artifices, 2 counts of taking the identity of another, and 2 counts of forgery and 1 of theft by extortion. Owens is also facing multiple charges after prosecutors said she requested child support from Erchard, then dropped the claim alleging she had a miscarriage. It is great to see accountability will finally be had and the previous victims can finally experience the justice they deserved all along, Erchard said in a statement to Newsweek. A lawyer representing Owens declined to comment, citing Arizona law forbidding extrajudicial statements about an ongoing case. Erchard told Fox 10 Phoenix earlier this year that he felt gratitude after the initial charges were filed against Owens. This is the first time that it feels that this is nearing the end. Of course, she still has to face these charges and maybe she will be able to take a plea deal, but for me and the previous victims, we were overjoyed last night when we heard the news, Erchard told the outlet. Owens said in a statement earlier this year obtained by Fox 10 Phoenix, after the initial charges were filed, these charges appear to be the product of intense public pressure, not impartial judgment. They reflect a system that responded to online outrage, ignored procedural protections, and moved forward based on a narrative than fact. Really? The newly announced victim began dating Owens in 2021, but he decided to end the relationship after the third date, the district attorney's office said. Owens then claimed to be pregnant by him, prosecutors said. Bros, this is why you don't stick your dick in crazy. Take some time, get to know her. Get to know her. Not like you can always find this stuff out, but I'm sure there's signs. The Maricopa County's attorney's office said it found evidence that Owens falsified documents to support her claim. The attorney's office first began investigating Owens in July 2024 at the request of a Superior Court judge. This came after the defendant made several inconsistent statements during a paternity hearing involving a former contestant on the television program The Bachelor, Clayton Erchard. Sorry if I'm fucking up your name, dude. The Maricopa County's attorney's office said it said in a May press release. Investigators found that Owens has seemingly altered an ultrasound image, fabricated a pregnancy video, and lied multiple times under oath between May 2023 and June 2024, prosecutors claimed. Owens was initially indicted on one count of fraudulent schemes and artifices, one count of forgery, 4 counts of perjury, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence early this year. Innocent, hey? Why are they coming to my door at 7 a.m.? Because you're a fucking menace. Because you're a fucking menace. Clayton Erchard in a statement to Newsweek, Laura is a criminal that needs to see some serious time behind bars, where hopefully she'll take time to reflect upon her decisions and grow from them. Laura Owens, in a statement obtained by Fox 10 Phoenix earlier this year, was, as someone who has never been charged with a crime in my life, I am stunned by the 7 felony charges announced against me by the Maricopa County's attorney's office. These allegations appear to be the result of coordinated harassment, misinformation, and public pressure in the aftermath of the paternity case I filed against former Bachelor star Clayton Erchard. Newsweek would like to point out that all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Well, we know that there's websites that you can get this stuff. You can get fake ultrasounds, you can get fake pregnancy tests, you can get fake anything. And these days you can doctor anything. And if you're currently in a situation where you're hooking up with a person, I mean, it's not a far stretch to think that, oh, fuck, this person got pregnant. Like, why would you immediately think they're lying? You know what I mean? Owens is scheduled to go to trial in the Erchard case in January 2026. So I will keep you posted on there. But I thought that one was super interesting, especially because it's like Bachelor. And I know as a millennial, that was huge in the time. That was like one of the first fucking reality TV shows. And again, we look up to those things like, oh, so romantic, so this and that. I mean, it sounds like Clayton's been going through it for a while, so probably not the best. And again, why are we faking pregnancies? Why are we lying about this shit? I truly don't want anybody to ever experience losing a child, but I promise you, once you do, you won't find those things funny after that. They won't be like little jokes, you know? Like, that just kind of makes me really sad for multiple people, but hopefully the victims in this case can get justice, and hopefully this sets a precedent, because these stories are happening far too often. And again, I can understand mental health issues, but you guys, there is so much help now. If you don't like talk therapy, there's medication. If you don't like medication, there's other forms of therapy like EDMR or EMDR. I always get it wrong. There's many avenues now that you can help yourself. There's many sort of pharmaceuticals if that's what you choose. There's many natural things. There's much work to be done, but instead we just don't do it and just blame it on mental health. And it's exhausting. Now let's go to the final story, obviously with a little bit more of a tragedy here. So this was also published on November 15th. Crypto millionaire fraudster and his wife kidnapped and murdered in UAE. Roman Novak and his wife Anna were abducted by suspects who demanded money for their release, but killed them in the United Arab Emirates while they failed to obtain the sum they wanted. A Russian cryptocurrency con artist and his wife were kidnapped and murdered overseas after reported ransom demand went unmet. Roman Novak and his wife Anna vanished earlier in October, sparking concerns among family members who hadn't heard from them for several days. The couple was reportedly kidnapped by individuals demanding a ransom, but then when the money wasn't delivered, they were killed in the UAE, according to local media reports on November 7th. The alleged kidnappers, also Russian citizens, have been apprehended and are set to be extradited to St. Petersburg. Inside revealed that the couple's cell phones were tracked for several days following their disappearance in Hatta and Oman and later in Cape Town, South Africa, before the signal abruptly disappeared on October 4th. It comes after another cryptocurrency trader shot himself dead on live stream after uttering 12 chilling words. What is going on? After the Novak couple went missing, Anna's father and stepmother reportedly traveled to Dubai to take care of their underage grandchildren. Anna's father refrained from providing additional details to Russian media due to the ongoing investigation. Novak had previous convictions for fraud in 2020 and was sentenced to 6 years in general regime colony, reports the Mirror. Prior to his disappearance, Novak portrayed himself as a successful crypto investor and the founder of the payment platform Fintopio, which he claimed enabled quick cryptocurrency transfers. He allegedly persuaded investors from China, the Middle East, and elsewhere to back his business venture, promising partners with leading tech companies and boosting personal connections with Arab princes and Telegram founder Pavel Durov. After obtaining approximately $500 million from investors, Novak reportedly disappeared, leaving staff without wages and investors empty-handed. In an earlier fraud case, the court determined that Novak had swindled partners in projects named Sports v. Narod and Transcript, stealing roughly 7.3 million rubies, I believe that is what it's saying, 89,846, I'm assuming American, through payment manipulation and breach of trust. Several Russian media sources have indicated that one or more of Novak's defrauded investors might have been connected to the killing, although investigators have not verified this. Reports also indicate that while multiple suspects have already admitted guilt, the victims' bodies remain undiscovered. The investigation still continues. And they had kids? Oh my God, what are we doing? At what point do scam and frauds ever work out for anybody? Just be real. Just be honest. Just tell the truth. Just try and do regular business. Now, hey, I don't know these people maybe they were trying to do something honest and then they got themselves caught up. I'm not sure. But now children don't have a parents, it sounds like they had kids. I'm sure the family members and friends of these individuals are absolutely heartbroken. And I just don't understand for what? For status, for money, for what? Why do we need to be frauds? Why do we need to be scams? Like, just make an honest living. Even if it's working at fucking McDonald's for now and you got to work your way through school, or, you know, being a stripper and to become a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, but scamming and frauding people to get yourself somewhere, a lot of the times you get found out and it's not a good ending. So what are we doing? Why are we doing shit like this? But anyways, guys, there is 3 stories for you for 3 different type of scammers. Keep in mind that people can scam you at any point in day. It's not just people that are calling you. It's not just people that are baiting you on your email. It could be people right beside you. And I know we don't want to sit in the moment and be like, are you lying about your pregnancy? Are you lying about this? Obviously, we don't want to assume that, but I think sometimes our intuitions know a little bit more. I just think it's fair to ask questions. I think it's fair to always be asking questions. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support for the last couple months and almost a full year on YouTube, just breaking off from the podcast, these types of shows. I appreciate the love and the support so much. Don't forget, you can find me on Mondays for Keeping Up with Canada here on YouTube, on Wednesdays, Internet Insanity here on YouTube, and then on Fridays on Apple, Spotify, Rumble. I've got the Be Real Babe podcast where I interview amazing people every single week. And when I go in my break in February, you guys will be seeing the podcast here on the YouTube channel, probably with a lot more edits because I am much more censored on this platform than on Spotify and Apple, hence why the podcast is no longer really on here anymore live. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for sticking around, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye. Or should I say aloha? Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, bye.